Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me for this segment, we have Rob Viglione, co-founder and CEO of Horizen Labs, to discuss how enterprises and institutions are transitioning to Web3 and why privacy continues to be a hot topic for blockchain. Rob, it's great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks, Jill.
You got it. Let's talk about the transition to Web3. What's missing for enterprises and institutions to fully adopt blockchain technology and really embrace Web3?
To control, regulatory clarity, the fact that they have to use cryptocurrencies under at least the public blockchain constructs, privacy.
Well, let's talk about that. Why does privacy continue to be such a hot topic in blockchain?
Yeah, I mean, it goes to the core innovation of what is blockchain. It's a public database. And if we want to have meaningful economic activity on that database, you need to transmit a lot of information into the public commons. And when you do that, whether you're a business or their customers, you want to make sure that you have strong privacy for the user data is being broadcast to the world.
So, Rob, explain to us about the importance of privacy, specifically to Horizen. What solutions are you providing to achieve the confidentiality to make blockchain more practical for enterprises?
Yeah, so there's one subclass of cryptography called zero-knowledge cryptography. It's the type where you can actually broadcast encrypted information to the world, to a public ledger like a blockchain, and without decrypting it, actually make use of that information. So through a cryptographic property called homomorphic encryption. This is what my company, Horizen Labs, specializes in. It's still early days, so the compilers to actually make this technology work at scale are still in their early phases, but it's probably the most interesting or promising aspect of, I think, where we need to go to get enterprises at scale on chain.
So when we think about scalability, do you think it will be regulatory friendly, if you will, and efficient when it comes to operations?
Yeah, I think it has to be. So I think the industry, so from the early days of Bitcoin through Ethereum, the smart contracting, through where we are today or where we need to go, I think that if this is going to actually scale and enterprises are going to come on chain, we need more clarity. It can't just be from the regulatory agencies themselves. We probably need legislation. And I think once we have a little bit more clarity as an industry, businesses themselves are going to feel more comfortable. And then companies like mine are going to feel more comfortable taking on different clients within the US, which is exactly what we want to do.
Right, Rob, I think another hot topic certainly with blockchain is interoperability, right? Because you can have all these different blockchains, but if they don't communicate with each other internally and externally, clearly that's a challenge. What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So interoperability is an absolute necessity. And you can think of interoperability in terms of information or digital assets that might have to flow between these different pieces of infrastructure. But at every point of interconnection, you have risks there. You have risks with engineering and construction, and you have just kind of risks of individual actors that could actually or have been bad actors in the past. So I think we need to solve the bridge or interoperability problems in the industry. But we also have this compatibility problem. So we really need to converge around standards, just like TCP/IP is a standard, and you don't have to think about what the standard is to use your communications on the web these days, but it's there, it exists, and everyone conforms to it.
See, that's an interesting point that you bring up, Rob. Why can't it be standardized? Are there too many conflicting opinions about it?
Yeah, so it's early days. Just like early days of networking, there were a bunch of different attempts of figuring out what standards would be. TCP/IP happened to win out. Now we have a convergence around this Ethereum standard, at least for smart contracting, and that's where a lot of the the public blockchains around smart contracting and automating different types of aspects of the industry and protocols or coalescing around this Ethereum standard. But it has to go deeper than that. We need standards around interoperability. We need standards around decentralized ID so that we can actually have unique identifiers for human beings without actually violating their privacy. Because as soon as they come on chain, everything they do is visible to the world into perpetuity.
All right. We appreciate the insight as always, Rob. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.